This week marks 2 months since Hurricane Maria tore through Puerto Rico, destroying homes, businesses, and infrastructure, also causing many residents to uproot their lives completely. 2 months later, less than half of Puerto Rico has power, and even fewer people have access to clean water. Manhattan Republican Chair Andrea Catsimatidis traveled to the U.S. territory last week to help the ongoing recovery effort, and she is joining me now from New York City to discuss her time in Puerto Rico, as well as the state of the Republican Party writ large. Madam Chairwoman, thank you so much for being with me. It's good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So you have returned not too terribly long ago from Puerto Rico. What was your experience there? What did you think of the recovery effort?
Honestly, Puerto Rico was very difficult to see. When I flew in, I just saw a sea of blue because all these buildings lost their roofs and they're using blue tarps to cover their houses. And the hotel that we were staying at didn't have power. Less than half of people have power. There was no cell service really anywhere. And it was just really tough to see. People need clean drinking water and they don't have it. And I mean, people are doing as much as they can to try and help people. FEMA and the Red Cross are still handing out 1 million meals a day, but it's really hard.
How was it that you came to be there? You distributed food as well, did you not?
Yes, I did. I went with Somos Healthcare Group, and we went down with a bunch of doctors to feed 10,000 Thanksgiving dinners to the people affected by Hurricane Maria, and also bring some much needed medical supplies and healthcare because a lot of the healthcare facilities were severely affected by the storm.
Did you feel conflicted at all? I mean, obviously this is a humanitarian effort, but it's also a political problem, in particular for your party, for the president, because as you know, Andrew Cuomo, and he's not the only one, but certainly many individuals have criticized the Trump administration for its response.
Well, when natural disasters happen like this, you've got to think about people over politics, and it's just really important to do your best and band together as much as you can to try and help the people of Puerto Rico.
But were you satisfied with what you saw? I mean, it sounded to me like it was very moving and difficult to be there.
Well, it was absolutely difficult to be there, and the conditions were terrible, but at the same time, I did see a lot of relief efforts on the ground and a lot of efforts on the part of the administration really trying to help people, but every time they would try and fix some power lines or power stations, a lot of times they would go back down. So it's just kind of an uphill battle trying to fix everything and get everything up and running.
Was this also an effort, you sort of were wearing a number of hats. Your family is involved in the food business, among other things. Was this part of an effort of your family, part of an effort of the party, part of an effort on just you personally?
I went there on behalf of both myself and our company, Red Apple Group, and it's just my family and our company. We have a long history of giving back, and we're very devoted to philanthropy and helping people in their time of need. So I just thought it was really important for me to go down there and help our fellow Americans in their time of need.
If I remember correctly, your dad also helped the governor get to Puerto Rico initially when there weren't a lot of flights. Do I have that right?
He went to the Virgin Islands when they first got hit. Yes, he did, because when you get a call of the head of our state and they asked for help on a humanitarian mission, my dad would never say no to that, and we would always help people whenever we can.
So going forward, though, I mean, I imagine that we're going to hear quite a bit from you. Some people might not know this, but you are newly ensconced in the position of Manhattan GOP chair. It's a difficult post because everyone comes to see you. You're also the home county of our sitting president, and yet in terms of enrollment, it's an uphill battle, to say the least.
It's definitely an uphill battle, but especially as the local county chair, I'm very focused on local issues, and I think that we could definitely find candidates that are good leaders within their community and candidates that care about local issues that issues that I think New Yorkers can really get behind.
There was a Republican candidate for mayor. She did not do well against New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. He was reelected by a fairly wide margin. Nicole Maliotakis, she's an assemblywoman from Staten Island. Do you think that she was negatively impacted by the Trump factor, which we are hearing a lot of Republicans express some concern about, particularly heading into 2018?
I don't think so, actually. I mean, she did much better than the last candidate we had for mayor. She won significantly more points than him, so I don't think the Trump factor was negative on her. I think we also won a lot of other races in the state, and I don't think that's really having an effect.
It has been postulated that she should perhaps run for something else, including perhaps governor. What do you think about that?
I think that she's a fantastic candidate, and whatever she wants to run for, I think the party should get behind her. So it depends on what she runs for, but I'm happy to support her.
Do you, when you're looking for more candidates going forward, will you be in particular seeking women? You did replace a woman as the head of the GOP, so it's not the first time that this particular party has been headed by a woman. But we're seeing with the sex scandal issues in D.C., in Albany, et cetera, some people are saying that one way to address that problem is to elect more women to office.
I think you're absolutely right. We should be recruiting more women. But I think in general, we just need to bring more people into the party and be the Republican Party of the Big Tent. I want to recruit more minorities to run, more women to run. Actually, the first candidate that I recruited to run was a young Latina woman, and she was fantastic. She got more votes in her district than any Republican ever had. So I'm very proud of her, and I hope to have more victories like that in the future.
Do you find that challenging, given some of the rhetoric that's coming out of the White House, in particular the travel ban, for example, or the DACA issue, which is a big problem in New York City?
I think when it comes to New York City politics, people are really focused on local issues and less concerned with national politics. So hopefully we can continue to recruit good candidates that will be able to focus on that New Yorkers can get behind.
Do you plan on playing a role in the governor's race next year?
Absolutely. I think in order for a Republican to win the governor's seat, it'll be key for New York City to at least deliver 30% of the vote. I mean, maybe we won't be able to win in New York City, but to help secure that victory, we need to keep our vote total up here in New York City for Republicans.
Certainly that's like the George Pataki model, if you will. I mean, that's part of the way that he was able to succeed. And going forward, what kind of candidate would appeal to Republicans in New York City? I mean, certainly New York City Republicans are not of the same ideology necessarily as upstate Republicans. Maybe they have some things in common, but you know, they have different issues.
Right. They do have different issues, but I think Republicans in the state in general care about being pro-small business and pro-police and pro-security, and we just need to find a candidate that cares about downstate and upstate issues, unlike Governor Cuomo who has really neglected upstate. And I think it'll be really important for us to recruit a Republican candidate that makes sure that upstate knows they're a part of this state and they're being represented as well.
Well, and in addition, a person who has the capability of tapping into the Republican fundraising machine in New York City, that's been a challenge for particularly some upstate GOP candidates of the past. Do you have a favorite right now in the field?
You know, I don't have a favorite right now because it's so early, but we have so many great candidates that are interested in running. We have we have a minority leader, Brian Kolb. Mm-hmm. We have Deputy Majority Leader DeFrancesco. We have County Executive Molinaro and Harry Wilson, all interested in running, and I think any of them would do a great job, and I think they'll give Governor Cuomo a run for his money.
Have they already come to seek your support? Are they already working those lines in New York City?
I mean, it's still very early, but I have met with them all in general just because I'm around the political scene, so I kind of know them all a little bit, and I would be happy with any one of them.
Well, Madam Chairwoman, I thank you for joining us, and hopefully we will be talking to you more in the future, and have a happy holiday season.
Great. Thanks for having me. Happy holidays to you as well.